Hi, I'm Bethany. Welcome to this pregnancy yoga practice. This practice is safe for all trimesters, and it's a combination of my favorite movements for pregnancy yoga. We have strengthening stretches, we have soothing stretches, we have meditation, relaxation, and it's a combination of all of my favorite poses that I share weekly in my pregnancy yoga classes. Hop on the mat and let's get started with the practice. Welcome. Start by getting comfortable. What does comfortable mean during pregnancy? Well, it can mean something different from trimester to trimester, but just make sure that you have props for the practice today. You can have pillows. If you by chance have blocks at home, that's wonderful. Or if you have a yoga bolster or just a blanket, something to sit on so that you feel a little comfortable. So we want to elevate the hips and then either sit cross-legged if you can, relaxing through the front of the hip flexors, or you can extend the legs out if this is what feels comfortable to you today. But let's begin just by landing in your body. Maybe this is the first time that you've been still today. So let's take that time to connect to yourself, to your growing baby, and just pause amidst all of the preparations and excitement to come. So hands rest down on your knees or thighs to begin. And just start to sit up taller, lengthening up through the crown of your head, shoulders soften down and back. As you land, notice if there's any aches and pains in the body. And just start to guide your breath there. Maybe breathing into the shoulders, the low back. Just checking in. And then invite your hands to your belly, inviting your baby into the practice today. Guiding your breath down to breathe into your belly. And as you exhale, the belly softens. Finding a few deep belly breaths here. Breathing down into the belly. Finding a few deep belly breaths here. Breathing to expand your belly like a balloon. And as you exhale, your belly softens. Two more rounds. Breathing in and out through your nose. And then keep one hand on your belly. Bring another hand up to your heart space. Connecting a little closer to you here. And allowing your breath to expand from your belly up to your chest. Full deep breaths. If you'd like to set an intention of focus for your practice, this can be such a useful tool to practice during pregnancy so that you can have these focus points during labor and also during motherhood. So maybe today your intention is to be calm. So as you breathe in, you can repeat the words, I am calm. And as you breathe out, I am relaxed. Or maybe something else like I am strong, I am capable, I am a good mom. Choosing your words of strength, and you breathe them in and breathe them out. And gently release your hands down to your knees or thighs. Sitting up tall again. And then if it's comfortable to stay sitting on a prop, stay. If not, come down, bring your sit bones down to the floor. Eyes can stay closed. And we just start to circle your belly around. You can make these circles really small. Or if it feels good for your low back, you can start to circle a little bit bigger. For this practice today, we'll use an equal breath. So each inhale through the nose, you can count to 3. And each exhale, counting back down to 1. Change direction, circle your hips the other way. 3 more rounds of breath. Maybe you'd like to add in the chest and shoulders. As you move forward, chest lifts. And as you move back, rounding with your upper back. Last breath. And then come back to center. Sit up tall. Now lifting your chest, take a deep inhale. Start to look up, maybe open your eyes. And exhale, rounding, pressing your shoulders back. So this movement is mostly in the upper back, especially if you're in your 3rd trimester. There's not so much space to move with the lower back. But really pulling the shoulders back, lifting your chin, and rounding, pressing through the shoulder blades. Now lift the chest, lift the arms, take a deep inhale, stretching up. And moving your right hand down, softening into a side stretch here. If this feels like too much for your side body, you can lift up your hand on a block maybe, so that we're just gently connecting to your side. As your belly grows, this often pulls a lot, strains your side body, your obliques, and your low back. And this is a really nice stretch to breathe some space there. You can bend the top arm, hand behind your head, and lift that top elbow up towards the roof. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, soften your shoulders away from your ears. Both arms lift, breathing in next. And then over to the other side, softly landing your bottom hand. Top right arm lifts. And then maybe bending your elbow, hand behind your head, and lift that top elbow up. In my classes, I call this our sunbathing pose. So we're leaning back, and if you enjoy the sunshine, maybe imagining a little bit of sun resting, bringing warmth to your face. 1 more full breath in, full breath out. And start to lift, press and lift both arms, maybe look up. And twist to the right side, right hand behind you, making space so that you can land your fingertips to the floor and lengthen up through your spine. Front hand in front or resting on the left knee. So we have a nice open twist, space for your baby. And the focus is on the upper back again, looking over the back shoulder. Full breath in. Full breath out, shoulders soften. Unwind, lift both arms up, reach up. And then twisting other side, same thing, making space for your back hands. Maybe landing your fingertips in front or pressing onto the inside of your right knee. Sitting up tall and looking over your back shoulder. Breathing up through the spine, inviting length to the crown of your head. 1 more breath. And then unwind, lift both arms up again. And release hands behind you, leaning back into your palms and extend your legs slowly, stretching out here. So you can start to wiggle your ankles side to side, really releasing from your ankles all the way up to your hips. relaxing from being seated for some time. If it feels okay, you can start to lift your chin, look up, and maybe drop the head back if it doesn't make you feel dizzy. Often in pregnancy, we can get kind of dizzy. So if you feel that way, listen to your body and you bring your gaze back forward, resting through your neck. Nice. From here, we move forward, come over to all fours, tabletop. So moving to stack your shoulders over your wrists and your knees right under your hips or slightly wide of your hips so that you have space for your baby. And then just start to circle your hips. So we're moving in circles one direction and then another. And just notice how your lower back feels, how your hips feel, how it feels for your belly to be in this pose. If it feels quite heavy, you can engage to your lower core, imagining that your hips are moving into the center, pulling up with your belly button, engaging the deep transverse abdominals, giving a little extra support for your baby. I call it hug on to baby. So you hug up and you hug in. And then slowly come to center, back to your tabletop. You can bring your knees underneath you and start to look up. Take a deep inhale, pull your chest forward, gaze looks up, and then start to round, press up with your shoulder blades looking down. Inhaling, chest lifts, gaze lifts, and exhaling, rounding here. And especially in the third trimester, it doesn't feel like you can lift the chest as much. That's okay. We're lengthening through the spine and looking up with the gaze. Rounding, pressing up, space between the shoulder blades. One more. And round. So now find that feeling hugging onto baby, lifting up with your belly slightly, and start to lift your hips downward facing dog. In down dog, this is one of our few prenatal inversions, and if it doesn't feel good to relax your head down, look towards your thumbs. If it feels okay, you can relax your head between your arms, releasing through your neck. But wherever you choose to be, bend your knees. Feet are wide so you have space for your baby. And then rock your hips a little side to side as you lift one heel at a time to stretch through your legs. Deep breaths here. Often this pose can be quite uncomfortable, so we don't stay long. One more breath in and a breath out. Then start to look forward towards your hands. Step your feet one step closer towards your hands. Feet are wide of your belly. And then walk your hands in one step closer. Grab your blocks or your props, bring them with you in case you'd like to use them for support. Sink the sit bones back, bring your elbows to your thighs. This is option one. You can be in this high squat variation. If you have pelvic pain, this can be a good place to be today. Or if it feels okay, you can sink your sit bones down heavier and come down to land on your support. Stepping your feet forward if you need, making sure you have a steady seat. Elbows to the inside of your thighs and the hands pressed to heart center. Take a deep breath in, sit up tall, and allow your eyes to close. As you breathe here, you can come back to your intention, your focus for the practice. Breathing in those words and breathing them out slowly. One more full breath in, full breath out. And slowly open your eyes. Look forward. Bring your hands forward towards the floor and lift your sit bones up. Slide your props with you if they're blocks, or if you have a chair nearby, you can use that too. But we want to elevate the chest a little bit. Bending one knee at a time And let's rock the hips side to side just as we did before in our down dog. Finding length through your spine and pressing your sit bones back. Lengthen up, straighten through your legs, and step your blocks one step forward so that you can lengthen through your spine. Then bend both knees again and bring your left hand up towards the ceiling. Opening with your chest, both knees bent, or maybe straighten through your left leg. Take a breath in at the top. And as you exhale, look down, come back down. Other side, both knees bent. And then reach right arm up, maybe straightening your right leg. Looking up, breathing, and releasing back down. Slowly take your hands up to your thighs. Like I mentioned before, we can get dizzy during pregnancy, so I like to teach a slow lift. We look up, take an inhale, and then exhale, rise up chest first. So not the same as a typical roll up in a yoga class, but we're conscious that we feel good in our body. Bring the feet together, heel toe them into center, and then shake out through your legs. All right, we made it to stand. You can place your blocks to the side and come to find your mountain pose in the center of your mat. So I teach a little bit different. The feet are hip distance, and bring your hands to rest on the front points of your pelvis and the finger points down towards your pubic bone. Before we move further, see if you can find how you're carrying your baby today. So often, especially in the third trimester, we start to carry our baby in either this direction with this nice arch in the spine. I say nice, but it's not so comfortable. Or we tuck the pelvis and we engage the glutes to compensate, which is also not so nice. So we want to find this neutral spine. So we're not here and we're not here, but somewhere in between. So see if you can take a few pelvic tilts and find your neutral spine, your neutral stance today, so that you have the support for your growing baby. And then heel toe the feet out to our wide stance, turning the right toes out, bending the right knee, warrior two. So maybe your warrior two looks like mine, or maybe it's even shorter, especially if you have pelvic pain. I always recommend a shorter stance, even weight distribution. I had terrible pelvic pain during both of my pregnancies, and my yoga practice looked a little different than it does right now. But for many women, this feels completely comfortable during pregnancy. We just want a slightly shorter stance. This front knee is bent, we're building a little bit of strength, and the arms reach out and long. Relax your shoulders and take your gaze forward. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, scoop the air, reverse your warrior, stretching into our side body again. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, reverse. Once more. And reverse. Back up. And straighten the front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Triangle pose, exhaling. Modified for pregnancy, I always recommend hand to your thigh. Top arm can lift up, or if your arm is feeling tired, bring your hand behind your head. We find that sunbathing pose again. It's very nice. If you want to stretch a little deeper, but not too deep, you can use a block as well to support your arm having a little bit of length here. Always micro bend your knee, not overstraining through your leg. And we focus on opening through the chest. Here we're working to open through the mid part of the pelvis. Take a deep breath in, start to look down. And as you exhale, bend your front knee again, coming back up, warrior two. Front leg straightens, and all 10 toes turn forward and in. Hands to your hips. Our second inversion for today, lengthen with your inhale and shift forward, coming into our wide fold as you exhale. Hands can move down to your thighs, to your shins, or if you have support with the block, you can use that as well. If you're feeling dizzy, head stays lifted, same line as your heart. Or if it feels okay, you can relax your head down, lengthen through your neck. Options here, I love options. You can bend your knees and focus on stretching through the back body. Or if you'd like to connect to the back of your legs, you keep the legs straight, thighs engaged, kneecaps slightly lifted. Your choice. We stay for 3 breaths. Next, inhale, bend your knees wherever you are. Lift your chest halfway, hands move to your thighs, and come up all the way head first. Other side, left toes turn out. Right foot stays parallel, and we bend the front knee coming down, warrior to other side. Arms lengthen out, look forward, take a breath in. Reverse your warrior back, exhaling. Try to keep your knee bent. There you go. Come back up and reverse. One more. And we stretch it back, lengthen through your side body. Back to center and straighten your front leg. Breathing in, reach forward, and we hinge into our triangle pose. Front hand to thigh, top arm lifted, or finding a variation on this side that feels right for your body today. This pose will look so different if you're in your first trimester versus if you're in your third. It will feel so different too. Micro bend your knee, not overstretching. Deep inhale, start to look down. And as you exhale, bend that front knee and we press and rise back up. Invite length again. And this time, turn all 10 toes out and your heels slightly in. Just a little bit of strength today. Bending your knees and coming into our goddess pose. Now, I have to be honest, this is probably the #1 most hated pose in my yoga classes, but often birth isn't quick, it's a marathon, and we need to build strength in our body to support both your growing baby and also so that it's a little easier to recover postpartum. So, have I distracted you enough? Let's take one more breath, lift the arms up. And bend your elbows out, exhaling, goddess pose. Breathing in, reach the arms up, stand tall. And hands to your hips, exhaling. Heel toe the feet back into center. And then as you come up, shake it out. All right, there you go. Now let's bring a block with you and come down to the floor, moving to sit comfortably with our feet together. Block today, lots of options. You can move the block and place it between your feet if you have one. If you don't have a block, that's okay. Your feet can press, or you can move your feet to lift up onto the block. Just so everyone can see. All right, here we go. This is really nice as well. We start with active feet. Big toes pressing in, palms of your feet pressing in, heels pressing in, and the knees lift. Often we're talking about stretching, making space for baby, but it's important to balance that with strength as well. So a little strengthening for the groin and inner thighs here. Sit up tall, lifting with your chest, full breath in, full breath out. One more. And allow your knees to soften. The feet can open up like a book, and you round your chest forward as far as it's comfortable for you and your baby. You can relax your head gently side to side here. releasing any lingering tension from the practice or from your day. Inviting some ease as we slow down and land on the mat. And head to center, slowly sit upright, lengthen through your spine, and extend your legs out here. Shake out through the legs. Relax. So you can set up with a pillow under your head, a pillow under your knees. If you have a blanket, you can use that too. It will take a few moments just to land. To not strain our core during pregnancy, I recommend to sit on your side and to slowly lean down into the pose so we're not doing these sit-up motions to strain the core. So come join me getting comfortable. If you have another pillow, you can slide a pillow underneath your belly as well for a little support. That can feel really nice as well. All right, settle down. And as you land, if it's comfortable, you can rest your top hand on your belly. Adjusting, moving in any way so that you can find stillness after a moment. And allow your eyes to close. Noticing the feeling of your body landing on the floor. And see if you can sink heavy into that feeling. Releasing any expectations for our practice today, for how it should or shouldn't have been for you. Releasing any thoughts of to-dos or not to-dos. And taking a moment just to be still and to be with your breath. The mind follows your inhales through the nose and your exhales back out through your nose. Nothing to do here but to breathe. And each time your mind wanders to thoughts, as it surely will, just invite your mind back to the breath. A few more rounds in through the nose and releasing with your exhale. And the next time you breathe in, just start to invite a soft movement into your fingers and toes, coming back. And when you're comfortable, moving a little fuller, a little larger movements. And keeping your eyes closed, and gently press yourself up to sit. Meeting me here, we'll close seated as we began. Bring a hand to your belly and a hand up to rest on your heart space. Coming back to your focus for the practice once more again. And then sending a sweet word to your baby here. Maybe it's a soft, I love you, I'm here for you, or something like we've got this. Knowing that whenever you need to land, to pause, to relax, All you need to do is to ground, to slow down, and find your breath. For the practice, we give thanks today to yourself, to your baby, and I thank you as well. Namaste. If you enjoyed the practice, you'd like to practice with me more, I'll leave a few links in the description box for my summer program, live digital, and pre recorded digital programs for mindfulness, yoga, and preparing for birth. See you next time.